What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Glass Garage, where we make detailing simple. My name is Sak, and today I have something special for you guys. So pretty much today will be a lot different. I am not doing a full blown out intro, but I just really want to talk about the struggles of real life detailing and what challenges you can face even after you do a test spot or a test section. And here we're removing all these staining. We don't even know what this staining is, but we are removing it, and I had to use a bit of sandpaper and a plastic razor blade to remove these stains that were on the paint and even remove the etching. That's why I ended up using the 3000 grit sandpaper. So this is the before walk around of the entire vehicle, and patience is key in this video, and that's pretty much the premise of the video. So we'll fast forward everything. All the products will be down below in the description that I used, and yeah, so let's get started. So before we could get started in removing that sticky substance that was on the vehicle, first we have to wash, clean, decontaminate the vehicle, do the whole 9 yards before we could get to that step. And one thing for context is I actually try to remove that whole entire sticky stuff before I even got to the polishing step. I tried everything I had under the sun. I tried to use tar remover, adhesive remover, glue gun, APC, degreaser, everything that I had to diminish and remove that substance, and nothing worked. I've even tried to use an aggressive clay bar and it diminished it probably a little bit, but it was just too thick on there. And I've even spoke to a fellow detailer, Tim, and he even said I should have used citral. I didn't have citral on deck, but I should probably get that for any future reference, and maybe that would have worked. But I tried to do everything that I could to remove it, and the purpose of the video is patience is key. I ended up doing a section of 3000 grit sandpaper, and I actually removed the staining, and I said, wow, this is my actual solution. And I ended up doing it, and what happened was, even afterwards, when I started to do the video or just tried to show and explain what I found out that worked for this situation, it did not work. And that's the premise of the video, is that we all come with challenges in detailing and trying to find that perfect combination. And the truth is, there's never really a perfect combination. Is trial and error and understanding what can be done in certain situations. I tried the 3000 grit in the clip that you'll see. I've even tried 2000 grit with the Adhesive scratch removal kit to diminish it even more, and we had to resort to use a plastic razor blade, and patience was key for this entire time. And unfortunately, that's what we deal with in the detailing world, is to provide the best possible results that we can in a timely manner. So let's get started. And what I have here is Rupes. What I'm using is their 3000 grit foam interface, their X cut, and it goes with the backing plate right here. So I'm using the 3. So I'm going to speed up this part of the video because it was pretty long, and I'll walk you step by step of what I did. So first off, I sprayed a bit of rinse wash and a little bit on the sandpaper. And typically you don't want to add this much lubricant or water per se, because you want the sandpaper to be effective. But I'm not here to remove defects. I'm just here to remove that topical part that is on the paint. I did this twice. Now, another thing is, I am not a wet sand guru or anything. I do this once in a while to remove topical defects, and the lowest I really typically go is only 2000 grit sandpaper. I don't really like to go as aggressive as that, even though you can. But again, I am not a wet sanding guru. So I did this twice, and I grabbed Oberk Sol to see if I could remove the rest of that polish, or not polish, that staining, and see if it helps remove it, because I did diminish it a lot with the sandpaper, and to my surprise, it did not work. What I ended up doing afterwards was I grabbed Adam's scratch removal kit. It's a dry sandpaper, and I used their 2000 grit sandpaper. And once I use their 2000 grit sandpaper, I am starting to notice that I am actually sanding down the actual topical sticky stuff, whatever that's there. But the problem is that I am also sanding around and actually on the paint, and I'm not trying to remove a lot of clear. I want to keep the integrity of the clear coat the way it is. So what I end up doing afterwards was I moved on to 3000 grit sandpaper to remove the 2000 grit defects that was around the paint. And then from there, I ended up trying to use an aggressive clay bar to see if I could remove the rest. Some of it was coming off, but the other stuff was just baked on there, and it was etching on the actual right under the actual staining area. So I had to resort to using a plastic razor blade, and this is where patience is key. So this is where I'll talk about it more as I'm using the razor blade. First, you're going an angle. This is how I like to remove my vinyl and adhesive. And as you can see, this is barely scratching the surface. When I mean scratching the surface, I mean this. There we go. So we knocked it down enough to where we are able to use the plastic razor blade and be gentle. Don't put a lot of pressure right away. What you want to do is ensure that you're going little by little, and add the right amount of pressure when you need to. Don't just add the same, because there's hills and valleys on this area as well. I apologize if this segment took a while, but this is really going to be part of the main videos, removing this. So of course we're going to polish the rest of the vehicle, which she's getting an enhancement, the owner. Because everything we're doing now, we're making this look 10 times better. And then it's going to throw off the way the paint looks. But all in all, fairly simple. So we're gonna do the 3000 grit here as well. And we're gonna knock down as much of whatever is left over. And then if we need to, we'll use a plastic blade with some rinseless wash. So once I remove the rest of the adhesive here, there's still slight etching inside of it. As you can see, the etching is, see the outline of it. So once we remove the rest of this, I'll fast forward to the polishing on how everything looks. So pretty much like I stated earlier, just patience is key, and you really want to be careful with this process. Just be slow and gentle, and you'll get everything done. Just charge accordingly, because there are hills, valleys, and curves on this, and you don't want to scratch the paint. And then once I was done with this process, you will see that there was just etching left behind, and then we ended up using 3000 grit sandpaper to quickly just go over it, probably less than 3 to 4 seconds. That way we're able to remove that light layer of etching, because it was starting to etch into the paint. And then we use Oberk Sole with DIY Details wool pad, and then we use the DIY Detail Gold Standard waffle pad with Oberk Sole, and just removed everything off. The etching and everything was gone. It pretty much just looked perfect. Alright, so here are the final results, and one thing I forgot to mention is this vehicle did have medium to hard clear, but nonetheless this vehicle looks fantastic with the paint enhancement. No, we did not go for paint perfection, but some areas did clean out better than others, and we removed the sticky stuff, adhesive, whatever that was stuck on there from the glass, the roof, the driver door, and of course the heavy stuck area, which was the rear fender. And let me know what you guys think about this process, maybe what I could have done better, and all the products will be down below in the description for you guys to order. And also hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.